Z's, long time no see in my office. Kind of working out of my office this week. I've been working throughout my, well, not working, I've been looking for jobs in my office off and on, but like I'm legit just gonna be home this week, just here, not going anywhere, just look for jobs. Let me tell you, this job hunting bit after coming back from being a caretaker is hard, but I love challenges. I love challenges, so I'm just gonna keep doing it until I get something, but it is hard. So I'm here trying to figure out how to make myself more marketable. Obviously I did classes in the area that I'm looking for a career in. If you guys don't know, I'm looking for a career in UX UI design, and yeah, so I'm trying to find my place in that area. Obviously you need a portfolio, a strong portfolio, just not any portfolio. And I thought I was starting out, you know, like I can just explain how I problem solve, how I figure out solutions for issues and all that stuff, and how I incorporate like people with disability in my designs. I thought that all that would be like a-okay. And it really isn't. So I'm finding myself pivoting and trying to figure out like other areas where I can use UI UX design experience in. Not that I have a lot of experience, but just areas where I can actually apply those skills. So I'm like branching out to like finance, branching out to like not necessarily health, but more like not marketing. I just more the finance slash analyst slash UX or UI design roles. So that's what I'm looking for a job in. I primarily want to focus on UI UX design because I'm a creative. I'm a creative at heart, so I love that. I come alive when I'm doing that. So I'm still looking. Wish me luck. Not even luck. Pray that I get something. That's besides the point. Wanted to discuss on challenges and why like two people could be facing the same kind of challenges, and one could become bitter and one could use that to become better. Better. That's the title of this message. Bitter, better. I was listening to a sermon by T.D. Jakes. Oh my God, there's a bug in my window. Anyways, I was listening to a sermon on by T.D. Jakes, and he was discussing about, you know, this whole point, right? That's why I decided to just talk about it. I am going through I'm going through some like a major storm in my life right now. It doesn't look like it. I don't want to ever look like a storm that I'm going through. I made a decision, I think when I was really young, to never allow like my circumstance to determine to cloud my true personality, if that makes any sense. I am a joyful, playful, childlike person, meaning that I'm just like carefree. I do have my serious side and it comes out as a mom, like when I have to like obviously raise my kids, you know, discipline them. It does come out, but overall my personality is just joyful, carefree, you know, childlike, whatever. Like life is a happy bubble, right? I laugh all the time. And by the way, I like when I smile. Love my dimples, so I like smiling. That's besides the point. But I try not to let the storm that I'm in currently, or any storm that I face, to actually overshadow my personality. So no matter what, I let my personality shine, whether I'm going through a storm or whether I'm in a joyous season. Again, it's just seasons, and I think that's where logic kicks in, and that's what I realize, that as long as you're alive on this earth, you will go through seasons of life. You know what? When you're in a happy season, the bad season or sad season will come. It's just inevitable, right? It's always going to come. The point, I think the message touched on, and I guess how I relate to storms in my own life, is that I know it's just a season. I know it's just a storm. It's going to pass. And I'd rather not allow the storm to make me feel bitter or to make me bitter, because at the end of the day, when the storm passes, that bitterness is still in you, right? And it just carries on even in a happy and joyous season. So I learned to just like, hey, no matter what, to not allow it to make me bitter, but allow it to teach me a lesson. And I'm big on like the lesson bit, like what can you gain out of every experience you go through, like what are your lessons, what did you get out of it? I'm very big on that, because life teaches you lessons in every scenario, every circumstance that you're in, every storm that you're in. There's a lesson to be learned. And what you do, or what I do, I take that lesson and then I go apply it. I kind of like dissect it and go, okay, what exactly happened? Why did it happen? Okay, what did you learn from this? Okay, how will you proceed in the future? And just like deep questions like that. I kind of like to say that I'm a therapist in my own head, because I do this with everything. When things happen, just a small argument or anything, maybe you call it analyzing things, but I tend to do this a lot, especially even with my feelings. When I'm like, I meet somebody and I feel a little off, I go home, I'm still feeling off, and I'm like, that's weird. Why do I feel like a little like sad or angry or anxious? Like, what happened? So then I go in my mind and I retrace what happened before, and I go, pinpoint, it was because I met this person, their energy was a little off, so I fed off that energy. I am an empath, so I tend to feel other people's issues. So what I tend to do, if people are carrying too much baggage and they want to dump it all on you, I tend to create boundary. I create a boundary, meaning, I can listen to you for so long, but you cannot trauma dump on me, because I am an empath. I too will take on your issue. I can solve one issue, two maybe, but don't keep on piling your issues on me, because I have my own things that I'm dealing with. So I make a mental note to draw a boundary or to draw a line. So in that sense, when I'm feeling sad, I meet somebody with a lot of baggage, I feel that baggage when I come back home. I usually dissect. I usually go deep and find out why I am feeling sad. It was because of this person. Okay, then that means that a boundary has to be drawn. Next time, that's a lesson learned. So this whole thing to say, the whole message about Bitter Better, it wasn't even that wasn't the title of TD Jakes, but that was the title of my message, Bitter Better, is that sometimes people go through the same storm, right? One is basically handling it in one way, and another person's handling it in another way. So you have the person who is like, woe is me, why is this happening to me? I can't believe this is happening to me. Sorry, I was looking at the window. I can't believe this is happening to me. The world's come to end. Oh my gosh, everybody hates me. And then you have the other person who's like, okay, this is happening to me. Okay, what's my response? How can I use this to make me better? How can I use this to what solutions do I have to conquer this problem or the storm? What tools, what skills? Like, that person is already like in the state of like, okay, I'm in a storm, I'm not playing the victim, I'm not playing woe is me, I'm trying to figure out solutions, I'm trying to get myself out of the storm. Logical like mindset kicks in, versus that person who's, oh, woe is me. I am the person who is logical in a storm, and who's always like trying to figure out, okay, how do I get myself out of the storm? I'm that person. And what lessons do I have to learn? I'm that person. I realize that and I've seen a lot of people play the victim role. I realize with people who play the victim role, it's a call for attention sometimes, and sometimes they weren't really paid attention to. I'm not a psychologist or a therapist, please, my experiences, but I'm not a clinical therapist or psychologist, so I'm just stating what I notice. But what I notice when people play the victim role is that either they weren't paid attention to, their feelings weren't made valid when they had like issues or points to point, people didn't take them seriously, so they don't feel like they're heard or paid attention to. So anything to cause somebody to pay attention to them, they will do it. So that victim mode or that victimhood allows people to like feel sorry for them, and it gives them attention, right? So they do it. I, on the other hand, I don't like attention. I don't like people looking at me. I just want to do me without you like noticing them do me, if that makes any sense. Does it make sense? But what I'm trying to say is, like, I don't like to be the center of attention. I like to do my things and I do them well, but I don't want you to call me out on what I did well. Yeah, I just do it because I just do it, but I don't want to be called out on, if that makes any sense. So that's my piece on the bitter better. If you're going through a storm, and I am going through a storm right now, but you can't tell, and it's not faking, it's not like what's the word, it's not like acting like it's not there or living in another reality. It's not that. It's just that I'm choosing to be happy regardless, or sorry, not happy, I'm choosing to be joyful regardless of what's going on around me. It's a choice, it's your response. I'm choosing that, and every day I wake up I gotta choose that. Now, let me tell you, it is a daily battle. Don't make this face fool you, and don't make me fool you into thinking that, yeah, it's just easy, I just make a choice every day and do it. No, when I'm around that stressor, right, there's something that stresses you. When I'm around that stressor, my attitude, countenance, everything changes. I have to go in my head and say, hey, find your happy place. For me, sometimes that's just putting on a headset with music or preaching or inspiring word and just listening to, soaking myself, immersing myself in that. And that kind of lifts my spirits up, and it kind of moves me away from the stressor. It's just finding ways that you can remove yourself from the stressor without actually ignoring the situation, if that makes any sense. But that's my piece on that. Today, like I said, I'm gonna continue to look for jobs. I pray, like this whole like taking a break from the workforce and coming back is no joke. When people tell you that, hey, yeah, it's harder to like get a job right after especially if you haven't built an experience, like especially I was a young mother, right? Especially if you didn't build yourself up before, like having kids, getting married, having kids, and then, you know, being a stay-at-home mom and then jumping back into the workforce, or trying to jump back into the workforce, and you don't really have that much experience. It is difficult, but God is able to do anything. So I'm still believing in God for something, you know, and I'm doing my part, obviously, you know, getting the education, not going to school, but getting the education and the credentials that I need to get there. But yeah, that's what's going on. I'm gonna do that. I have a lot planned today. There's a lot of kids activities today, so what I do when I have a lot on my calendar is that I pace myself, so I break down everything. I'm kind of solo parenting at this moment for about 4 or 5 days, so I'm in charge of dropping the kids off, picking them up, making lunches, making breakfast. Obviously breakfast is pre-made, making packing the lunches, making dinner, you know, putting them to bed, which I'm glad they do that now. They're a bit older, so thank God. But I'm in charge of that. So, and then on top of that, there's a lot of activities planned today. Kids activities is a lot. So not a lot. It's back to back to back. Like after school, it's like back to back to back to back. So I gotta take care of myself. I think I'm gonna clock out of my office around 1-ish. Kind of just take care of the dinner piece and then relax for a bit, and then I will you know, get ready, pick them up, and then after I pick them up from school, it's just back-to-back activities. Yeah, so that's my day today. Hopefully I'll check in with you guys tomorrow. Yeah, I'll check in with you guys tomorrow. If not, this is long enough. Oh my god, this is long enough. Maybe this should just be a video on its own. Hopefully you got something out of this. This is sit down. I like doing this kind of sit down talks because, again, my kids will watch this when they get older, by God's grace. And also for all those other people who need to pick me up, because I realize my gift in life. I know what my gifts are in this life. So I'm trying to walk in that. And yeah, so if I'm able to touch somebody or just give a different point of view to somebody, I'm happy to do that. But most importantly, I want my kids to look back on these videos and then just kind of hear mommy talking to them and giving them advice, even when I'm like long gone from this earth, right? So that's the goal, that's my purpose of like putting out videos like this out there. It's for you guys, but mostly it's for my kids, because I want them to have something from me as they get older. You know, a little advice here, or like, I kind of wish I knew some of these things before, kind of deal. But yeah, anyways, that's a wrap.